Yes, I'm Harry from Reuters. One question for any of you. How would you finance the 180 million spending that you're going to, and as well as the overall 2 billion that you will spend over the next 3 years? Thank you.
The funding is coming from multiple sources. Some of it coming partly from internal approvals. We're also looking at other options of raising money through both debt and equity. And I don't want to go into specific numbers at this time.
Hi, I'm Amit from the Business Times. Question for Vinod. You are coming into the market with this 3.8 terabyte cable plus the data center and all at a very bad time when businesses are bad all around. So do you envisage that you can hit the deck running once everything's up and ready, or do you initially see some slow uptake with things getting better, say after 2010 or so, when hopefully the economy picture would become more rosy?
Well, firstly, the project will be completed in early 2010. These projects do take 15 to 18 months to complete once the work actually begins, which it just has. As far as the economy is concerned, like I said in my presentation, we actually are finding that the number of discussions we're having with customers now who are planning to build dedicated or captive facilities 6 months ago, who now have switched their plans and are ready to move into a shared facility like ours, is very high. We're having several discussions going on with large banks, content providers, and so on. So we actually believe that the timing, in a way, will work in our favor as far as trying to fill the data center up quickly. The second point I want to make is when you build a business case for these data centers, you assume that there will be a staggered fill factor that grows over a period of time. And we don't see this economic situation in any way affecting the assumptions we made in our business case on how quickly the data center will get filled up. In fact, I'd say the challenge that we have is to make sure that we don't do, we can just carve it up into 2 blocks and sell it to others who are planning to build dedicated facilities, but that's not exactly how we'd like to do it. Our focus will be much more on selling, instead of raw space, it'll be on selling services, hosting, storage, disaster recovery, so on and so forth.
Hi, I'm Mayuko Tani from Nikkei. Further on the $2 billion investment plan, can you briefly tell us what more you're going to, for what you're going to use the rest of the money, especially in Asia? What are the projects that you're looking at?
Don't remember the specifics, but let me tell you some of the big line items in terms of where the investment was supposed to go. Clearly, large investment around submarine cable systems, and I think Vinod covered some of them in terms of the intra-Asia system. Some cable systems we're looking at enhancing our connectivity between India and Europe. There's some systems coming on stream sometime in 2010 and beyond. Connectivity on the African coast, we're looking at participation in some cable systems on the East African coast. We're currently working with some partners on a potential cable on the West African coast as well. So submarine cable systems was a fairly significant part of that investment. Data centers was the next big chunk. We've talked about our plans specifically for Singapore. I don't think we covered in as much detail what we're also trying to do in the US and UK, and I think Abid can add to that. But we are expanding capacity right now significantly in India, significantly in Singapore, and also in the US and UK as we speak. So there's a fair amount of data center capacity being created, not only in Asia but other parts of the world as well. The other big investment was to be around the retail broadband space, specifically for the Indian market. And I think with the growth of broadband in other parts of the world, we think that there's a tremendous opportunity for growth in broadband services. The market today is about 3.5 million subscribers. Potential to grow to 5 times, 6 times that in the next couple of years. So there's a massive opportunity for growing broadband services, which also feeds into the investments that we make in terms of content creation services, content delivery networks, in terms of data centers, connectivity, and so on. Therefore, in terms of technology, the focus was to be around WiMAX, because we think wireless technologies are the right way to go for a market like India at this point in time, given the lack of other last-mile technologies available to us in terms of sheer number of copper homes or number of fiber homes. That was to be another big chunk of the investment. The other significant item was, again, something that we spoke about a little earlier, a clear focus on moving away from simple co-location and network services to managed services, and managed services of different kind. Telepresence, we think, is a very exciting opportunity for us. We think content delivery networks are very exciting for us. We think security services are very exciting for us. Managed hosting is a very exciting area for us. So creating a portfolio of managed services to be able to take to different customer segments around the world was another important element. Then, of course, there's a whole bunch of other stuff around networks and infrastructure. We have investments. You heard about our increase in our investment in Neotel, our investments in China, and we are obviously continuing to make investments in other geographies as well.